In New York City, very rarely do I ever see a CTS-V, but I usually see a CTS-V as a wagon, or I'll see it as the coupe. But you don't really see very many of them. What sucks about this car is it's just too small. Like it's not the last generation CTS was a pretty decent sized car. Unfortunately, as for a wagon, it just wasn't big enough to really be a wagon. I mean, it had a little bit of vertical space if you were going to store things vertically, but it just wasn't big enough to be a wagon. The Dodge Magnum was the perfect size for a wagon. The Dodge Magnum was the perfect size to be a family car, the perfect size to be a wagon, the perfect size to be a work car. Like if you bought the Dodge Magnum, you'd only pay what, $50,000, $55,000. You could get an SRT model, pay less than $60,000. You have a full-size wagon, a monstrous engine, and it's a shame that they haven't brought the Magnum back because we don't really have a decent wagon. The only thing you have an option for is CUVs and SUVs, and there's some people who really don't want the ride height of a CUV or an SUV. I mean, could you imagine a Dodge Magnum or even a CTS-V? Could you imagine one of those things with all-wheel drive? And could you imagine a Dodge Magnum with the Hellcat engine? Could you imagine that? Like a Hellcat engine and all-wheel drive? That would be insane. And you know, I was here on the Southern State Parkway. Most of these people, I've been just passing them by like easily, like it's nothing. But when I look at this thing, this CTS-V came with 556 horsepower, and it was supercharged. And this thing could take me down, whether I've got a Jeep or a 300. I mean, this thing is a sleeper wagon monster, but the thing about it is you know exactly what it is when you see it. And it's still a good-looking car. Unfortunately, the interior could have been better, but the exterior is pretty damn good. The exterior really holds up. It looks good. But it's a shame that Cadillac never put the V8 supercharged in the XTS. It's a shame that they're not trying to compete on a price-to-price basis with anybody else, and they feel that they can charge top dollar for their cars, because I really don't feel that they can, but they apparently do. So my only thing is, I don't know. SRT, I mean, they've got Hellcat Charger, they got Hellcat Challenger, so you've got two different choices. You got a coupe and you got a four-door sedan, the most powerful sedan ever made by human hands. And you know, it's really amazing that America can build stuff like this, but they just become so short-sighted. I mean, if I was like some super rich person and I could buy just about any car and gas money is no object, the thing about it is I want like the most powerful engine I could possibly get. I wonder who will be the standout car today. First time I seen it with this color. Oh, he got himself a custom hood. Look at that hood. She got my mom one of these. CTS-V, here we go.
Great muscle cars, that is bright. That is some incredible stuff. A little bit of everything here today, as you said. A lot of stuff, a lot of...
Uh-oh, there's the McLaren. Here it is. Here it is.
Out on the racetrack.
10.68 for the CTS-V wagon and a 10.02 for the other car. Not bad. Can't wait till, okay, let's see the CTS-V. The CTS-V wagon runs pretty well. It's like a 10.8, 10.5. That's not bad. Gotta snatch them souls, baby. Rolling coal! This is rolling coal shit. I thought they had emission standards in the state. 10.58 for the rolling coal and 10.76 for the CTS-V wagon. Man, look at all that black smoke. It's like you can feel the ozone layer just depleting. It's like the ozone layer just depleting the ozone layer. My God. Rolling coal. It's like before you know it, everybody have cancer and shit. And no carcinogens. Alright, here it is. Here it is, the moment of truth. Yeah, this is a badass right here. I wonder how much tuning he had to do to make it run 10s, because these cars don't normally run 10s. Alright, so let me get from over here. Let me get back in there so I can get to the stands. That CTS-V wagon, he's put some serious work into that car. Because as far as I know, those things typically run in the 13s. So I know he's put a lot of work in that car. .41. CTS-V wagon's not doing too bad.
Cadillac once again, we've got a number on the side.
CADILLAC.
Once again, we need Andrew and Bright. Andrew and Bright. We need Andrew and Bright to the third floor of the Tiny Tower, please. The third floor of the Napa Tower.
Oh, he said fuck it. Okay, so we got a McLaren race. Kitty versus the CTS-V wagon. I wasn't expecting this, so I stayed just a couple of minutes longer. Wasn't expecting this at all. Cheapo Kitty. Okay, I'm waiting to see how this one turns out. He's got a manual though. You know, I prefer automatic because you don't have to do anything. Yeah. I think the CTS-V got him. 10.81, 12.13. Yeah, you see, when you're doing this kind of racing, you don't want to have no goddamn manual. The reason why people have manuals is because mostly automatic transmissions didn't really exist up until now that can handle this kind of power. But what I've realized is if you get yourself a carbon fiber drive shaft and the half shaft, you can handle up to 1,500 pounds of torque, 1,000 horsepower from what I've been seeing. Now, my thing is, when you're racing, I don't want to have to do shit except watch forward of my car. I don't want to have to do a goddamn thing, so fuck that manual shit. So what you got to do is get rid of these fucking manuals, get yourself the automatic, and just go automatic versus automatics. Anybody who's got the manual, what I've noticed is you can tell when they're shifting because the car stops that obviously. It's RT Life versus a CTS-V. That guy put a lot of work into that CTS-V, because that car on average is like a 13-second car, but it's running 10.49, so he put a lot of work into that car. That CTS-V, I gotta give it to him. 1103 versus 1155. That CTS-V is nasty. That CTS-V is absolutely nasty.